Hello, this is Ruth Noel, and I welcome you back to the Small Business Transformer Summit. Today we are speaking to none other than Richelle Shaw. She's a speaker, business advisor, mentor, coach, author, and $1 million business owner. Richelle Shaw is a leading expert and authority on building a successful $1 million business. Richelle's experience comes from building her first business to $36 million, losing it all after the 9/11 World Trade Center tragedies. Then she successfully rebuilt her $1 million company in approximately 5 months, only 5 months. And she's the only female African American public utility owner in America. Richelle has won local and national awards, including Top Woman Entrepreneur of the Year 2010. So, stay with us, and we'll be speaking to her shortly.
Hi, I can see you now.
I'm not messing up my hair with the headset. So,
Yeah, that's why I've got mine put back. But
okay.
I actually purchased your book about a year and a half ago when I started up planning and doing my own business, and it was incredible. So I'm really honored to be speaking with you. I'm like so
Oh,
excited. I've been looking forward to this all week. So
oh,
thank you very
that
much,
just made my
firstly.
day. Thank you for saying that.
No, you're very welcome.
Some days you go, is this all worth it? Am I doing this? Who am I doing this for?
Right.
To for with you. So that's it's nice to hear. So thank you very much.
You're very
Thank you.
welcome.
So we might as well jump right in. So
Yeah.
so what was it? Here's my part. So what was your
Okay.
favorite part of my book? What made your head go, okay, I get it now?
I think it was the part about referrals, but it was really everything. After I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, like it was like just to overflow so much. I wanted to do everything in one go, like implement the referrals, start doing the discounts and the offers to get people to come back. It was
Yeah.
incredible. Which is, I guess that leads me to my first question. What is the top maybe 2 or 3 points that a business person should do when they're starting up?
Well, I have a couple of really things that I've learned over the 20 years that I've been an entrepreneur. And here's what I figured out the first time
Mhm.
is that it's not an excuse. If
Mhm.
you want an excuse, you can create one. It's never about, well, I don't have any money. It's never about, well, uh, oh, people don't get me. You
Yeah.
just haven't found the right ones to do that.
Mhm.
But even as I mentioned in my book, there's only three ways to grow a business. So you have to decide which three that you're going to do and
Okay.
what order you're going to do them in. So the first way, of course, is to go out and get a new customer. Right? The second way is to get your existing customers to come back more often.
Mhm.
So let's say you sell a house,
Mhm.
okay? Well, it's going to be really hard for somebody to buy a house over and over and over again. They're only going to buy a house maybe two or three times in their lifetime.
Right.
So if you're selling houses, you really have to figure out another reason for the customer to come back to buy from you.
Mhm.
Okay? And those are some of the things that I shared in my book, The $1 Million Equation.
Mhm.
Uh, and then the last way is to get people to spend more money while they're with you. Okay,
Yeah.
so have you ever gone to go get groceries and as you're walking out, there's all the stuff on the side right behind,
Yes,
and
of
so you
course.
go, oh, the $3 candy bar, the 3 pound candy bar, right?
Yeah.
I go, did I just really spend 3 pounds for that? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's the way that they say, you know what? We've got the customer here, and they have a captive audience, so let's go ahead and get more money from them.
Mhm.
So what the best thing that any startup, that any business can do is focus their attention on making sure that when they do the first way to get a new customer, right, or to grow their businesses, once they get the customer,
Mhm.
is to figure out immediately a way for them to come back.
Yeah.
And then also make sure that while they're there that they take all their money. So I have this little thing. Look, this is to entrepreneurs, right? We're
Yeah.
not talking to
Yeah.
people who are customers, but to folks who are in this, who,
Yeah.
if we don't make money, our families don't eat.
Right.
Okay. When somebody opens their wallet to pay you, you need to take everything that's in there. Because here's the deal, they're going to be out buying it from somebody else.
Mhm.
So if you've got a grocery store that, which is why, in America we have these huge grocery stores, plus they have like the Target and Walmart have great
Yeah.
stores here.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you walk in the door, it's 100,000 square feet of stuff. There's just stuff from this side. I mean, my mother, when
Mhm.
she goes there, she calls it like a mad dog in a meat house, right? So she's like, the dog goes and she goes down this aisle and this aisle and this aisle
Yeah, that's so
because
true.
there's so much for her to buy,
Mhm.
right? But when I travel in Europe, I'm always shocked that they have really small, customized, just really niche markets
Mhm.
that the only thing you can buy is one thing.
Right.
So you're
Yeah.
hoping that when the customer needs that again, that they're going to come back to you,
Mhm.
right? So when I was in France, and they have a boulangerie, and then they have a patisserie, and then they have all of the meat counters, and you got to go to 15 stores to make a meal. Like,
Yeah.
and if you are that type of small business, if you're doing that to your customers, it makes it difficult for them too.
Mhm. I
That makes
understand.
sense.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really important point actually, because when I started, that's something that I didn't look at. I was just thinking of how to get my next customer, how to get another customer, and then so the idea of asking for referrals, getting people to come back was such an eye opener for me as well. And so if you're an online business or if you're a service business, for example, like myself, what can you do in that case? Because compared to actually selling
Well,
products, is it different?
give me an example. So your service business is what?
So mine is online bookkeeping and accounting. So I help people set up a really efficient system online. What could I offer them? Because it's not really a product that I can give or that kind of thing.
So here's what. So here in America, when once a year we file our taxes,
Mhm.
right? And so we have tons of accountants that's all they do is just tax preparation. So they eat really well from January to April. And then May, they're hungry again.
Yeah.
And they don't have an opportunity to get any more money until January comes again. And so what I've done for them is devised other systems to get customers to come back, which is exactly what you do, is we help them add bookkeeping. So you're going to need bookkeeping every single month, correct?
Right. Exactly.
So what I would do is maybe if I were, and I haven't looked at your business, so pardon me before we got on this call,
That's fine.
but I would make sure that I forced or created some type of continuity into the business. So instead of selling a one-time deal, I would sell a package. And every year, if they're just buying the software, then I'd sell a renewal, okay? So that
Okay.
they have to buy it again to get the next update instead of just you buy it one time and then you get updates for free.
Okay.
Well, so then you spend all of your time trying to get new customers.
Right.
So we
Exactly.
have to figure out other things that they could buy. So one of the things that I'm not sure if you got to read in my book, or one of the trainings that I do is about other people's customers. So I call it OPC, right? So much better than other people's money.
Okay.
Because if you can find other people's customers, they're already buying from them and they're looking for something else to buy. So when you are out looking for partnerships,
Mhm.
people to partner with you want to find complementary products and services that you can offer to your customers, and then you get a referral. So for example, a referral fee. For example, when I owned my telephone company,
Mhm.
is once they had phone service, then what do? What else could I sell them? Well, I found that these same people were struggling and were having a challenge with getting a car loan, getting a house loan, because I targeted credit challenged people who didn't have good credit
Yeah.
and couldn't just go out and buy it immediately. So I went and formed partnerships with a bank, with a credit card company, with a car dealership. And I said, look, I've got these customers that now I've taught them
Mhm.
how to pay their bills on time, and they're not as much as a credit risk as they were before, but they're looking for a place that's not going to just take all their money and make them pay for 10 years for a car that's not going to last for 2 years, right? And they said, well, we would love for you to do that, and we'll even pay you a commission for that. I said, oh my. But when they said that, then I started looking for other relationships just like that. So that's what I would suggest for you. If you've got a service business,
Mhm.
that it is a one-time fee, then look for other complementary businesses. What else do your customers want? So
Okay.
here's the key question that you ask them, okay? Or ask in your head when you are laying in bed in the middle of the night and we go, how am I going to build this business,
Yeah.
right? Here's what you ask yourself. What else? What are my customers buying before they get to me? So before they come and buy bookkeeping, what are they buying?
Mhm.
Are they setting up their business entity? So I have a private client who is actually an accountant,
Okay.
and he provides free corporation setup, right? So he will create a corporation, an LLC, a legal entity for the business,
Mm-hmm.
because he knows after that they're going to need bookkeeping, they're going to need tax accounting, they're going to need all these things that he already provides where he makes money.
Okay.
So he looked to see what else they were buying, and then he got them into his fold. So what are they buying before you? And then the second question you want to ask yourself is, what are they buying after they leave you?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? After they leave and get your bookkeeping, what else do they need in their business?
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to make partnerships with people to provide that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Thank you very much. So just moving on from that, I'd love to hear a bit more about you, and I'm sure the viewers and people listening and watching would love to find out what inspired you to actually start up your own business.
Oh gosh, quite a funny story. And so I don't know if your listeners or watchers actually know, but for many years I was the only female African American public utility owner in America, and I owned a telephone company in Las Vegas. So they asked, well, how in the world did you get into the telephone business? And I say, okay, so here's the story, straight no chaser, is I was dating 3 men in 3 different states, and I had a really high phone bill. Honest to God truth. And I met this guy, because every story with me starts with, I met this guy. So I met this guy who said, Richelle, you'd be great to work for us. And I go, really? Oh, well, everybody thinks so. I'm such an awesome employee. And he goes, no, really, you should come and work for us. So first, I switched over my telephone service, and I saved over 60% on my phone bill, and said, oh my gosh, not only will I keep my service with you, but I can't wait to work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I fell in love with the business, and I had always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I had owned a couple of little, I'd written a credit repair book. I had written a couple of other things before, but I wasn't really, for sure what I wanted to do. And I let fear and doubt kind of get in the way, and people go, what? My mother said, well, we paid for you to go to college, for you to go to university. You need to get a job that could,
I hear that.
What you're doing, right?
Yeah.
So turns out that I was promoted 4 times in 5 years. I took that company from $300,000 to $36 million.
Wow.
And I ended up buying the company from my boss. So that's kind of what inspired it.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be my own boss. But I tell you, the biggest surprise for me was when it was actually my business. And all the things that I did before it wasn't mine, I started to question, which is crazy too. Okay. But I really started to question, because now it was my money on the line. Mm-hmm. So my first book was called How to Build a $1 Million Business in Las Vegas Without the Casinos. Yes. And it's all about my journey to build, my telephone company. But I talk about in one of the chapters, I think it's chapter 4, it's easy to be fearless with somebody else's money.
Okay.
And that was true. It was really easy when it was somebody else's money. But when it was mine, and when it was, if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, my 52 employees don't eat. Right. Oh my God.
That's scary.
Things started to, make you kind of, give you shortness of breath.
So what did you do to control the cash flow at the time when you started?
It's something that I do to this day, and people tease me about it, but I am very frugal. I wrote an article called Money Makes You Stupid, and money makes entrepreneurs really stupid. Mm-hmm. And it either paralyzes you before you start. Okay. So it makes you go, okay, well, I can't build. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. I'm not going to pay any money. Yeah. I can't start because I need business cards, or I need a logo, and I need a website. And all of that is just stuff that's in the way of you actually building your own $1 million business. And then when they start to make some money, about 10,000 pounds, $10,000, 10,000 euros, whatever it is, they go, and they go and buy a new car. Yeah. They go and buy a house. They go and get a beautiful briefcase. They make their office just fabulous with the marble. And you go, are you crazy? Why would you spend that money that's not generating money for you to keep the business going? So your question was, how did you manage the money in your startup? Yeah. I made sure that every single dollar came back to me. Every single one that I spent was only to generate more and more money. And I did that and I still do it. I'm so fundamentally cheap. I just am. I just, yeah, that's just it.
I get
I
you.
step
That I'm
up.
like that as well.
Yeah, well, you have to be, because we don't know what tomorrow, they could dig up the whole front part of our office and nobody can come to our store. What do you do then?
Mhm.
If you spend every single dollar that comes in. So I am the financial expert on our local television station here, and
Yes, of
I'm the
course.
money hunt,
Yeah,
is what
sorry, I
they.
forgot to mention that. Yeah,
That's all right.
you're
The
featured on
money
Fox as the financial expert.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so I teach consumers, and it's the same thing that I teach entrepreneurs. It's live off of 75% of what you get in. Okay.
Okay.
10%, I think that you should donate, tithe, give to a charity, something to be grateful for what's coming in.
Mhm.
And it's easy to do when you got $100, $10, it's give it to somebody. 15% should go on your savings,
Mhm.
and you should live off the other 75%. And if you consistently do that, then you won't have cash flow issues. And if you make sure that every single dollar, not some dollars, not a couple, every single one comes back to you. And that is only invest in things that you know. Now you can invest in, do a test, $100 here, $100 there, or pounds.
Mhm.
But what really bothers me and what concerns me about most entrepreneurs is that they fall in love with one idea. Okay.
Okay.
So they fall in love with, okay, I'm going to have a billboard, or I'm going to do Facebook ads.
Right.
Okay. That's all I'm going to do. That's the only place where I'm going to be. And everybody's going to follow up on my Facebook ads, and they're going to, and they put all their eggs in one basket and they stay forever. They don't tweak it. They don't make sure that it's giving a return on investment, which means if I spend $1, you should bare minimum be able to get $2 back.
Mhm.
If you're not getting $2 for every dollar, then you need to stop whatever it is that you're doing, right? But it's hard to get entrepreneurs to understand that,
Mhm.
because they fall in love with the idea. They get the idea and they go, oh, like even this telesummit that we're on,
Mhm.
right? This isn't the only thing that you're going to do this year.
No.
This is just one of the many. Okay. You said, okay, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to, invest some time and some energy.
Yep.
And then you're going to go on to the next thing. But some people, this is all they do all year.
Okay.
And I go, so then what? And you should always be asking yourself, and then what?
Yeah.
And then what? What next? What else can I be doing in the business?
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I think that stems from the frame of mind when you begin to understand that advertising should be ongoing. It's an investment. Because, for example, even myself, when I started, I wanted to do one thing and just hope that loads of people would come in. So it took me a while to understand the truth behind advertising and marketing. So
Sure.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's consistent. You always have to do it. If you're not, you can forget it.
Mhm.
Because I have this 100-day theory.
Yeah.
And what's going on in your business right now is a result of what you did 100 days ago.
Okay.
So 100 days ago, right, was right in the middle of the holiday season. So if your business is struggling right now, if it's not generating the income that you wanted to do right now, it's because during the holidays you were eating and partying. And you weren't actually working on the business. You didn't have anything consistently out there to generate any income.
Okay.
So my new book, which is coming out next month, it's called Turnaround. How to turn around your business in 100 days, right? But it's about taking 100 days and doing everything possible to build that business. And so I give you tips and strategies and ways that I do it, and ways that I break down the 100 days, and inspiration and ideas and ways to chart it. Because if you're not watching it just like any other goal, you're going to quit, right?
Right, exactly. That's really an important point. And at the moment, with the way things are going with Twitter and Facebook and all the different changes and different things coming out, would you mind telling us what you think is the best way to go forward? What's the most important, maybe?
Well, here's how, Twitter, Facebook, social media is just a media. Okay. So, if it works for you, so if you are making money from it, then you do it again. Mm-hmm. But I believe that you need to reassess it every 90 days or 100 days, right? So every 100 days you look back and you go, okay, so for example, a year and a half ago, when the $1 Million Equation, well, before the book came out, so got to be 2 years ago, I used to do webinars. That was my lead gen. So I would get people to come to a webinar. I would pitch them on the webinar, and I would sell $2,000 packages. Okay. About 7 months ago,
Yeah.
things changed. So now you're not closing people on $2,000 packages off of a webinar. You're closing people for maybe $500. So now this is going away.
Right.
That media is going away. So does Twitter work? You know,
Yeah.
does Facebook work? Yeah. I did a video the other day that you can't deposit likes and shares and retweets. You
Yeah.
can't go to the bank and deposit those. And goes, but 50,000 people retweeted it. Okay, but did
Yeah.
50,000 people give you $1? I have a coaching client who's got 5,000 Facebook friends, right? She's got 100,000 Facebook, Twitter followers, and she's struggling and she doesn't understand why.
Okay.
And I said, because number one, you don't know how to convert those people into buyers. And number two, just think if you could get $1 from each one of them, what would your business look like? So I only have like 3,000 followers on my Twitter.
Mhm.
My Facebook fan page, I think, has 400 people
Okay.
now, but I make a lot of money.
I love
you
it.
know,
Yeah.
but when I do tweet, they do retweet for me and they do get the link and I know how to convert them from the link
Mhm.
and they do ask me and they do buy from me and they do private message me on Facebook as you did, right?
Mhm.
So yes, it works, but if you don't have your core and your foundation done, which is what I talk about in the $1 million equation, right?
Mhm.
I start out with, okay, what is your great solution? Who is your target market? How do you get this target market to come back over and over? What are you doing? What are the 85 ways to get a customer? If you're not doing those things, then it doesn't matter what media you have, whether it be Twitter,
Mhm.
Facebook, Instagram. I don't care how many pictures of your kid that I see. If you don't have what I want to buy, I
Mhm.
ain't buying.
Right. Exactly. And so you have a young daughter, is that correct? I think you mentioned that in your book as
Yes,
well. How old is
I
she?
do. She's 8.
She's
She's
8.
8 now.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
she's she's a very funny, which of course, right? Why wouldn't she be very funny?
Yeah.
But just the joy of my life,
Yeah.
and balancing that is a challenge too.
Right. That was going to be my next question. How do you find time or how do you manage your time to spend time with your daughter as well?
Well, I actually yesterday was asked this question, so I'm so glad that I'm prepared for your question
Okay.
today. And I will tell you how I do it is in the turnaround in my new book
Mhm.
with the 100 days, okay, is that I teach you to schedule your days. So what I do with my daughter is every day I take her to school and I pick her up. And in the 5 hours that I have, I plan them out. So they are the most efficient 5 hours that I have. So I have coaching days,
Mhm.
I have consulting days. So when I work with bigger businesses, I have implementation days, and I have planning days.
Okay.
So I have planning days to make sure that when my implementation day comes, I'm actually either writing or I am posting or I am executing the strategy that I've created.
Mhm.
If you don't do that, then you will always, always, always feel overwhelmed and feel as if while I am with my kid that I should be following up on an email from a client.
Yeah.
Or when I'm following up on an email from my client that I should be helping her with her homework, right?
Exactly.
So instead of that, I schedule time. So while I'm taking care of the email with my client, I go, well, there's my kid, but I know that at 6 o'clock is our time to do homework.
Okay.
So she's very regimented. And some folks go, oh, well, I don't, I want it to be free and easy. Yeah, kids need structure. And as long as she knows that she's going to get that specific time with me, she's fine. So every morning, we have conversation. There's no radio on in the car.
Okay.
We discuss our day. I tell her if she's staying late at school or if I'm picking her up. Um, and then we plan it out. Now, I do have to say that I've cheated a little bit.
Okay.
And I retired my mother when I had my daughter.
Oh, right.
So my
Okay.
mother lives with me and she takes care of her like in the morning. So in the morning, that's my time to kind of get my head together for the
Mhm.
day. And my mother gets her up, she gets her breakfast, and she gets her ready to go to school so
Okay.
that when I grab her,
Yep.
We get in the car, we have our wonderful mommy and me time, and I take her to her classroom, I drop her off. But I also schedule everything from I've gone to every single one of her field trips on school.
Yep.
I've been at every recital,
Oh,
everything,
that's so
because
important.
that's what's most important,
Hmm.
and I don't care. I believe that the money will come. I
Right.
just really do. And as long as I put in place the things that I teach,
Hmm.
right, then it works. And I'm like every other entrepreneur. When I don't do it, when I don't plan out my day, when I go, oh my gosh, it's implementation day, but I haven't done a planning day,
Hmm.
it's a mess. I get there with a blank piece of paper. I'm trying to, post something on my blog, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm writing today. I'm looking for pictures. It just it's such a time zap and a waster. So now I'm just a big proponent of making sure that you've got it scheduled and that everybody in your family. Now I also have a housekeeper,
Okay.
because that's not the best use of my time to
Mm.
clean the house. It just isn't.
Right.
So it's worth the investment to get a housekeeper. I also don't do my own hair, so I go and get my hair
Hmm.
done. But other than that, everything else is I don't worry about groceries because I know that we do that on
Hmm.
Saturday mornings. You
Okay.
know, so I just plan it and structure it so I'm not overwhelmed.
Right. I love that. And I was talking to my family about that, about maybe hiring a nanny or getting someone for assistance or just investing the time to go to the salon, for example. And then they always come up with the argument, they're like, no, you don't need to do that. You're a woman. You should be kind of managing it yourself. That's a waste of money.
Okay.
What do you have
Well,
to say to them?
Okay, so I'm a cusser. So, I tell them to go jump in a lake, right? But here's what I have because my mother is a superwoman, right? I mean,
Yeah.
she starts doing, and she takes care of everything. That's not me. And I had to understand and forgive myself that that's not me, all right? So what I say to those people is I took my revenue from last year and I divided it by the number of hours in the year, okay,
Okay.
that I spent in the business. So like, let's say if you made 120,000,
Hmm.
so that's 10,000 a month,
Right.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So now divide it by 80 hours a week is what you're supposed to work. So 160. So if you do that here, we'll do that right here while we're there,
Okay.
and I'll tell you what the number is. And we'll play the Jeopardy music while we do it, right? Da, 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 da. So if it's 10,000
Hmm.
divided by 160, it's $62.50 an hour. Okay, so $62.50 an hour is mine's actually a little bit more, but we're gonna do a realistic one.
Yeah.
So if I make when I work in my business $62.50,
Hmm.
then and I can pay somebody $12 to clean my house,
Hmm.
then why would I ever? It's costing me $50 every time I clean my house.
Right. Okay. I get
Okay,
that. Yeah.
so the girl that does my hair, it cost me $50 for her to do my hair. All right, so that's 1 hour that I have to spend working for her to do my hair, and it takes me 3 hours to do my hair. So it's costing me 150 bucks to do my hair instead of just paying the 50 so that she can do it.
Right.
Right? So when you look at it financially, and even for the nanny, for my peace of mind, so that I can be efficient in my business,
Hmm. That's the key word.
is worth
Definitely.
way more than my mother, and my mother likes to do it. So even having somebody to come in to just help you
Yeah.
a couple hours, and if that's just your time for rest, if you are not resting, you will never build $1 million business. Forget it. You just won't,
Hmm.
because you don't have time to think. If your basic needs are not covered, your brain will not function the way that we want it to function, and it will never be creative. And I don't care what you have on your list to implement, it'll never happen.
Right.
It'll never happen. So now, if you can't afford it, don't get me wrong. If you can't afford it, then don't do it. But if you can afford it, or if you're right on the edge,
Hmm.
then I'd say test it for 30 days. Test what happens when I was reluctant to put my daughter in childcare. Very reluctant. My mother was taking care of her before she was starting school,
Okay.
and there was a preschool, right? And I was like, oh no, my daughter's gonna get sick. I can't do that. Pardon me, the sun's coming in now, so now we've got to
That's fine.
adjust the cameras. Okay. So I was really nervous about that. But that freed up so much of my time. I mean, the first week I cried.
Yeah.
The second week, I was like, oh, is today Tuesday? Woo, today is Tuesday. I get to take Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
And then, I had some Tuesdays where I would drop her off and come home and get back in the bed because I was just so exhausted from having a baby and doing all that we do as women, right? So, it's giving yourself permission that no matter what you do, it's okay. Because the world is not going to stop because today you decided to take a nap.
Okay.
It's not going to. You have to take care of you first. Because if you're not there to take care of your kid, then who's going to do it? Hey, who's going to do it? It's not going to be anybody else. So it's all right. It's okay.
That's good. That's really good to hear. Reassuring, I must say. So we're coming near to the end of our interview, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know that you're a busy woman. So
I have everything scheduled.
That's right. So one of my last questions is, we love technology, and are you an iPhone or Apple or you're a Microsoft person?
Okay, so I am a combo.
Really?
Okay, so I have iPads, but I have an Android phone, and I have a PC with Microsoft on my PC.
Okay.
And that's because I am a Google person. So all of my documents are in the cloud.
Ah, I love
and that means that I can access them from anywhere in the country.
Okay.
Yeah. It all works on my phone. And then the second thing is I have a pretty big S4. So
right,
here it is.
The Galaxy.
Because I can't see. So I'm old now and I can't see, and the iPhone was too little, and I was sitting there, and then I'd have to put on glasses, and I'm way too vain to put on glasses. So that is my answer to your wonderful question.
Okay, I love it. Thank you for sharing so much vital tips with us. And lastly, where can we find you? What's your website?
Yeah, you can find me on my website, RichelleShaw.com, R-I, so like rich girl, Richelle. SHAW.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Richelle Shaw. You can find me on Facebook. My official fan page is official Richelle Shaw. So it's all there, and I'm there pretty frequent. I don't outsource that because I don't believe in outsourcing marketing, and nobody talks like I do, and they don't have my voice. So if you reach out to me, I'm there, and I'd love to talk to you about your business.
Okay, thank you so much. We definitely will, and we'll put all the links in the emails as well.
Awesome. And down below, click the link.
Thank you.
You're welcome.